So on The Next Generation, despite the title, absolutely zero people are massacred via chainsaw in that movie. Literally in the movie, Leatherface runs around with a chainsaw and only kind of like points it at people, and then they usually knock Leatherface out of the way as he's screaming like as a woman, basically. So
I gotta rewatch that. It's probably gonna ruin it for me when I rewatch it.
When asked about this movie, Renee Zellweger said it was dangerous. I don't know if any of it was legal. It was a great workout. Running from a guy with a live chainsaw is excellent motivation. It was a lot of fun. It was my first role. Really, I couldn't believe that somebody was going to trust me with that, that somebody was going to take the chance on me. I was really grateful. I had no shame about that movie. But despite her saying all that shit, when it was rumored that it's been rumored that her and McConaughey both sued to have their names and likenesses removed from the most recent collector's edition Blu-ray released by Scream Factory, because they don't want to have their name on that piece of shit anymore. So,
are you? No one pulled the chain off the chainsaw.
According to them, no, they didn't.
You think you'd have a stand-in chainsaw? Here's the one with the blade, or here's the one with the chain, and here's the one without a chain. Like.
I don't know what they were thinking on the film of that movie, be perfectly honest. It was as low budget as possible. When you see the house that they're in, it looks like they went to somebody's trashy trailer and recorded it inside of that. I mean, that's the extent of the props.
It's going to be horrible watching this.
Matthew McConaughey had just graduated college and planned on moving to California when he auditioned for the role. He read for the part of the young motorcyclist who rescues Jenny at the end and rides off with her into the sunset, a role that was eventually eliminated. Before he left, writer, producer, director Kim Hinkle asked if he knew of anyone who might be right for the role of villain, Vilmer. McConaughey suggested two friends from acting class and left. He was about to get in his truck and drive to California when he stopped and realized, what was I thinking? He immediately turned around and asked Hinkle, hey, can I audition for Vilmer? Hinkle gave him the spoon from the kitchen, told him to pretend it's a knife, and tasked him with scaring his secretary. Then in the middle of the audition, he told him to pretend his mechanical leg was malfunctioning. McConaughey was so convincing that he won the role of Vilmer on the spot.
Oh, my God.
And that's the goofiest part of the movie, because literally that's how Renee Zellweger gets away from him. She grabs like a remote control off of his like little belt that he has, because he has 15, because they're all running out of batteries all the time, and she just presses a bunch of buttons and he's sitting there and he's like kicking his legs around because he's supposed to be malfunctioning or whatever.
His cell phones don't have great batteries. What the fuck? Like, who thought of that?
It's low budget all the way around, man. It's definitely despite all the problems with 3D, it's worse in a lot of ways. Like just across the board. McConaughey actually says his dazed and confused catchphrase in this movie. He walks out. I remember that because I was watching for it. There's a scene where they're all gathered around the table, and he just, and he's got like Renee Zellweger tied at one end, and he just walks in. And he's like, all right, all right, all right. And I'm like, There you go. He does. He says it.
Oh, man. My idea of watching this is getting worse and worse and worse. It's like I don't want to revisit it because I want to have like the member berries.
McConaughey and Zellweger came to fame 2 years later with A Time to Kill and Jerry Maguire, respectively. Both shared the same talent agency. When Sony, who owned the movie's distribution rights, was preparing to re-release it, highlighting the pair, their agent threatened a lawsuit against the studio, claiming their clients were being unfairly exploited. The agency also said if Sony released the movie on the backs of their names, neither would appear in future Sony releases.
Wow.
So the film was eventually given a brief limited theatrical release in 1997, even though it was made, before, quite a bit before that. That's pretty bad. When they got lucky because they got these two people that just blew up and became great actors. Well, Zellweger, you can debate, but like McConaughey's legit. And then you get and then they get super famous. Then you're just like, oh shit, now we're gonna get some money off this. And the company's like, the fuck you are. Hold your horses.
Yeah.
Don't
ruin this for us.
Do you think that if that happened to you, you would be embarrassed of the first film? You would think that it'd be like, it didn't do well. It's always a hit or miss sometimes with some of these films.
It's not that, but as an actor, all you guys say is like, I didn't direct this piece of shit. They paid me to be an actor, and that's what I
true.
did.
Yeah, I did a job, and I've grown since then, and I'm a different person now.
And to be fair, they are both the best actors in the movie. Like, I mean, straight up, I mean, their scenes are the best, even if they are stupid as fuck. I mean, they do a good job acting in it. So it's like there's no reason for either one to be embarrassed because McConaughey's leaning heavily into the camp, but that's what the character is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then Zellweger's like, she's a decent final girl. Like, I don't know why they're super embarrassed by it, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I never understood that when I see actors walking back movies. It is like, you're an actor. You audition for a role, regardless of what it is. You went there, you did the job, they paid you. You're not doing the editing. You're not doing the directing. You're not doing any of that. That's not on you. Don't.
As far as I know, they're green peas during this. It's like,
yeah, Matthew McConaughey just got out of college.
are we not allowed to grow?
Yeah, they obviously got better with their craft over the years. I mean, you can look back and be embarrassed, I guess, but
Yeah.
you admit, well, I obviously moved on from that at
This
least.
is where I
mean,
came from, and this is where I am now. Renee Zellweger, you didn't move too far off the grid, but just saying.
But all you gotta do is like, hey, look at the rest of the fucks in the movie. How'd they do?
You've not heard of most of them since then. So.
Well, there you go. Speaks volumes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. After learning about the remake, Andrew Bernarski, Leatherface, went up to producer Michael Bay at a Christmas party and personally asked him for the role. To prepare for his role as Leatherface, Bernarski ate a diet of brisket and white bread in order to get his weight to nearly 300 pounds.
Wow.
Holy shit.
He should have went all method, and the brisket should have been people, but, you know.
I don't remember
Yeah,
him
what you
being
gotta
like
do.
super fat in that movie.
Well, he's a tall dude as well.
Yeah, he is.
Like
So
6'4", 6'5", right?
300 pounds on somebody who's, I mean, I'm around that weight, and I mean, I'm not like, you know, nowhere near as fat as I was like at 400. So, I mean, you can carry the weight a little bit better if you're, you know, a little bit taller that way. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. During the scene in the van with Arlie Ermey and Jonathan Tucker, who played Morgan, Tucker forced the gun down his throat in order to make himself vomit every take. If you watch carefully, you can see him spit the vomit out of his mouth in the scene.
Ugh.
Yuck.
Ugh. On his final day of shooting, Eric Balfour stripped down, threw his wardrobe back to the crew, and walked off the set only wearing a baseball cap.
What?
Oh my God.
I don't
Where
know
was
why,
he
but
wearing the baseball cap?
Well, there you go. Like, where was he wearing? But just the thought of this guy's like, "Fuck you all, peace out, I'm done," and he strips nude and walks away. Oh God! Erica Learson screamed so loudly during screen test that people in other parts of the building called the police to report that a woman was being attacked.
Nice.
Daniel Pearl, cinematographer of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, reprised his position for this movie. He got there by convincing Marcus Nispel, his frequent collaborator on many music videos, to direct. Nispel's offered the movie but wanted to make his American debut, an original movie, telling Pearl that remaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a blasphemy and a sure failure. Pearl then told Nispel that this was the reason he should accept the offer and hire him as a cinematographer so that Pearl could make the same movie twice, only once at the beginning of his career and once at the end. And Nispel then agreed. So,
Wow.
I mean, they got the same cinematographer. So, I mean, maybe that's why it's a decent remake, because they got this, you know, same kind of concept there at least. Lauren German, who played the hitchhiker, you know, lady at the beginning of the movie, originally auditioned for the role of Erin, the final girl. Also, Kirsten Dunst, Katie Holmes, and Jessica Alba were considered to play Erin. Now, let's break this down. What do you all think about those people in place of
Can Katie
Jessica Biel?
Holmes just go away? Is that too much to
She
ask
was all
for?
right in Disturbed Behavior, okay? She was okay in that movie.
And
but
what
other
else?
than that, yes.
What else?
Other than Disturbing Behavior, nothing. So, yeah, she can go away.
Yeah,
Kirsten
it's
Dunst,
just-
I don't feel like she's a great actress either.
I mean, Kirsten Dunst in a dramatic role. I mean, have you guys seen her in The Virgin Suicides?
Did you see her in Spider-Man? She sucked. fucking train wreck.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's like not a drama though.
Yeah, but there's
She
three
was
of
supposed
them,
to be
and she
playing
couldn't.
dramatically.
Yeah, she had 3 chances to do a good job. She sucked in every fucking one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Jessica Alba because, like, literally the only movie that I felt like she did a decent job in was Idle Hands, and that's because she, plays her looks up in that movie, and that's about the only thing that she contributes.
Talking about Jessica Alba. That one only? What about Sin City?
Well, no, wait a minute. Sin City. I forget about Sin City.
Okay.
Yes, she did a good job in that one.
Amazing job. Some would say it was her best performance.
Yeah, she actually had some drama.
Why are you
in
looking
that
at me
role,
like that? You didn't like that movie?
She had dramatic chops in that movie.
So Sin City is probably the coolest looking film with awesome acting and probably cool storyline that I could not get into for some reason, and I cannot explain it to you. And I have tried. I have tried very hard.
That storyline with her and Bruce Willis was hella good.
Yeah, it is. It's tragic and yeah, I'm not disagreeing at all. So this is why I can't explain it to you. I don't know what it is. Something about that film kind of just gets under my skin that it's just weird. I don't know.
The second one sucked when they tried to use Josh Brolin to fill in Bruce Willis's character. That was not Bruce Willis's.
Quite a bit.
Who was it? It was not Bruce Willis's character. Who was the guy that was working with all the hookers? Oh man, I forgot his name. Clive Owen.
Yeah,
Josh
Clive
Brolin
Owen,
was it was he was pre-operation, and that was a stretch. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Anyways,
I don't think Jessica Alba would have fit in this role at the time. She was not doing anything dramatic at all. I just don't see her. Lauren German might have actually played a better final girl.
I'm kind of curious what her age was. Is Natalie Portman? I think she might have been able to pull that off.
That was around the time that they were doing the prequels, so yeah, she could have.
But horror?
She wouldn't have done it. No way. She'd be like, "Fuck that! I don't touch that shit."
Are you forgetting Black Swan? You
didn't like that
now?
Oh, dude, you didn't like Black Swan?
No, he is. Oh my God.
I know, but that wasn't like a slasher movie.
He's trying to explain to me why have I not seen that movie because that would help her.
Black Swan was hella good.
I don't think I've given Black Swan the credit it is due. According to you guys, it is something that I need to rewatch.
Oh man, that was an awesome movie.
Yeah, it's also
Annihilation. She does a great job in that movie too.
Which one?
Annihilation. It was that most recent cosmic horror movie that came out that was like a sci-fi based thing. She's good in that movie.
That storyline was hard to follow.
It was. But I mean, as far as the horror and her being able to interact with it, she was good.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job with it.
Do we know how Lauren German got picked as a hitchhiker versus a final girl?
It doesn't mention the reason why she.
Well, they clearly wanted a bigger star for the final girl.
I think they wanted one that could, at the time, that had a better body that would stand out more. On
and that was definitely
Jessica
Biel. 100%. Yeah. I mean, the girl was pretty stacked.
She filled those genes out well, so
she did, and she is still a wife that will get cheated on. Just so everyone knows.
Oh man.
Yes, even Jessica Biel gets cheated on everybody.
That's true. Aaron's last name was supposed to be Hardesty, the same last name as the lead character Sally from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't think they ever mentioned it in the movie. Gunnar Hansen was asked to play the role of the trucker at the end of the film, but that fell through. That would have been interesting if he had played that character.
That would have been cool. Would he have ran as good? And would he still be running to this day?
In 2002, Marilyn Manson was announced as the composer for this project. He later had to bow out due to conflicting schedules. That would have been interesting, odd.
Yeah.
And of course, our favorite film critic, Roger Ebert, gave the film a 0 ratings.
Hated it.
Why can't that guy just go away? Holy
hated it.
Shit, I fucking hate that guy.
It was 3D. That's the one year with the Double D Dario.
I know, but that guy.
No, he gave a 0 to the remake.
Oh, to the remake? Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what Roger Ebert is? He's the remnants of the boomer con generation, big time, like hardcore. Like, I don't know if that guy understands what movies are designed to do. Not all movies are designed to be amazing pieces of art, and he has a very.
And not all movies are designed to be like family entertainment either. I mean, they're supposed to,
You know what would be hilarious is him giving reviews on pornos.
Oh my God. I bet you somebody could cut something.
Oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they could definitely deep fake the shit out of
that. You heard it here first on Death Holler.
I give this movie hilarious. 2 thumbs up.
The butthole.
Up their butt.
Yeah. One up the butt, one up the front.
That would be hilarious.
Just like Buck, I like to go up the Hershey Highway.
Oh my God.
Would it be to deep fake him and then have him showing clips of the movies that he reviewed?
Yeah, as he's watching it. Just kind of
I really like this scene. I think she put her all in on this one.
Or he put his all in.
Oh, fuck.
Trivia about Texas Chainsaw 3D. A draft of the script had Leatherface's name being Jebediah Sawyer. However, this was later changed to Jedediah Sawyer. In the 2003 remake, Jedediah is the name of the young member of the Hewitt family, the little kid that, actually turns against them.
What the fuck is this? The Utah fucking Chainsaw Massacre?
I guess. Jebediah.
Brother Jebediah.
In the opening scene, Bill Moseley, who portrayed Chop Top in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, portrays Drayton. John Dugan, who played Grandpa, reprises his role in the opening scenes of the film. So I guess he played Grandpa again in that. That's cool.
Okay.
Marilyn Burns, who played Sally Hardesty, as we said, played, Verna Carson in this one. In one scene where Heather is exploring throughout the house, she looks through a closet that has Marilyn Burns' Sally Hardesty Enright costume from the original film. That's kind of a neat throwback.
What? I did not notice that.
I didn't either, but it's what it says. So Gunnar Hansen, who portrayed Leatherface, portrays a relative, Boss Sawyer, in the beginning of the film. In interviews, Hansen has said that he has been approached before, but has never been offered a salary that would entice him to return. And that was a repeated problem. Like they wanted him for part 2, and then they told him, he said, okay, what do I get paid? And they said, we'll give you
$800,
whatever it is going rate plus 10%. And he said, I think I should be, worth a little bit more than that. And then they came back and they said, okay, here's our other offer. And they took the 10% away. And he's like,
oh, God.
All right, well, then if you don't want me around, then fuck you. They did the same fucking thing for part 3. He was supposed to come back for part 3, play Leatherface. And they're like, here's what we can offer you. And it's like, you can't do any better than that. And they're like, no, fuck you. If you don't like it, go away. So they repeatedly just kicked him to the curb. I don't know why. I thought he did pretty good Leatherface, but 3D has the distinction of featuring a total of 3 different actors portraying Leatherface. You have Gunnar Hansen as one from the archive footage at the beginning of it. You have Sam McKenzie as young Leatherface, and then you have Dan Yeager as the main one in the movie. And Dan Yeager is, as of that film, the tallest Leatherface at 6'6".
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Fucking beast.
Dude.
Originally, a plan for a new trilogy was pitched. The films would be released out of chronological order, with the second film coming out first and being set almost entirely in a hospital. The next film would be a prequel explaining the events that led up to the hospital scenario, and the third film would complete that storyline. Fearing it was too ambitious and risky, the producers opted for a follow-up to the original instead. I don't know, what these people think. It's like, we're going okay, let's do this weird time jumpy thing. Do they think audiences are going to be able to figure that out? So dumb. Although she had a rule against appearing nude, and this makes me so mad. Daddario had a rule against appearing nude in films. However, the scene where she's tied up and has her shirt ripped open, almost completely topless, the filmmakers decided not to. She offered to let them film her completely nude, and they said that no thank you, it'd be too gratuitous.
Yeah. What type of movie do you think this is?
What kind of rating were they going for?
They got an R-rated. What are we even talking about?
The dipshit ratings was what they were going for. I mean, you had her side boob there, and it looked glorious. I can't imagine that the full thing wouldn't look better.
I don't get that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna show my titties in this horror movie where we're just slashing people up. No. That's a little too much for what we're doing.
For anybody in the audience, male or female, that would prefer to actually see her in the nude, she actually does appear fully nude for the first time in an episode of True Detective, which also stars Matthew McConaughey.
That's
so there
an
you go.
awesome series. Was it in the first one?
Yeah, the 2014 one.
What character did she play? I'm trying to think.
I don't know, but I need to go back and rewatch it now.
Dude, True Detectives. That one with what's his face? Vince Vaughn kind of sucked, where he's like kind of working with the mafia. But the other two, they're hella good, man.
Oh yeah, I love both those. The first and the third season, they're great.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw that one with Kevin Hart. They did kind of off the same type of cuff. It was Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes. It's on Netflix. It's
never saw that.
Yeah, it just came out. It's something detective, but it basically operates in the same type of plot story with the characters. It's hella good.
I'll try to check that out sometime if I can get around to it. So both Daddario and Trey Songz admitted to not having seen the original film prior to the production of this film.
Uh-oh.
The only films in the series that Songz had seen before were the remake and its prequel to Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning. It usually helps if you're going to do a pseudo remake of a movie to kind of watch the original. I just throwing that out there, for anybody that might be listening that cares. In an interview with Collider, Daddario said she didn't want to say the line "do your thing, cuz," because she felt it was too silly. Then the producers told her the entire movie is supposed to be silly, so she ended up saying it.
Fucking producers. Well, I'm curious what the director's take was about that. There's no way the director could be like, hey. This is a silly movie, but not that silly.
Well, who is the fucking idiot that's like, oh, this is a silly movie, but please keep your top on for the kids?
Well, it's like producers are idiots. They're not artists in any fashion. I hate when they try to get involved in that shit. Just get the money to front the project and get the fuck out of the way.
Here's the thing. I don't mind a bad B movie if it leans into all the bad stuff or, the goofiness that goes along with it. But if you try to play it straight and then you got a bunch of stupid shit in the movie, that's when it gets bad.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, time for the Death Holler Awards for this one. Final girl rating. I mean, you can, if you want to lump in, any of the ones if you want to, from the other movies, but I'm just going with Stretch because she's a pretty good final girl, in my opinion. I mean, she does at least get vengeance against Chop Top, if nothing else. I know that Lefty kind of steals her thunder and takes out most of the Sawyers in this one, but
I'm trying to think. We're talking about best side character, right?
No, the final girl.
Oh,
rating.
final girl. Oh, fucking! There's only one final girl.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying if you want to throw in from any of the other movies, would you consider Daddario a final girl, by the way, because she's kind of in with the bad guys.
Yeah,
so.
I don't get how he makes the jump that since she's blood, it's automatically we're on the same team now. That
I'm your cousin.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be. I mean, it's a stupid movie. There's no reason to think about this. You'll get an aneurysm. But I think they're supposed to be insinuating that like anybody who's like a Sawyer can basically he's their bitch. So
that's what it seems like. Yeah, he'll protect you. Well, he's not a watchdog.
Yeah, as he almost chainsawed fucking the dude's head off and hit the fucking metal plate in his head. Yeah, like that's like what are we talking about now?
But is there any other final girls from any of the other movies? Like, no, I mean,
the jockey
we
girl.
already talked about the remake in the first one, but
yeah, that jockey girl was badass. I think it was a good, strong character that fucking fought back, held her own. Was interested in finding out the truth and all that shit.
Yeah, a lot of vagina was a good,
A lot of vagina.
A lot of, she was a good final girl, especially for the 80s. And she kind of ticked the boxes. Obviously, well, she wasn't a virgin if she kind of.
No, she was probably fast and loose.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't cause her to die.
Well, I like the fact that she played into manipulating the fucking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
she was an expert manipulator because she had LG wrapped around her finger too. So you got to remember, she was raping several guys in that movie.
Oh God!
Yeah. Someone's got to pay this goddamn rent
on this shithole.
See, I watched more movies, but like the final girl that's in 3, I mean, she gets more kills than Stretch does, but at the same time, she's kind of a non-existent character for most of it. She's not got the personality of Stretch, so she sucks that way. And then Renee Zellweger literally just runs around a bunch and then tells Leatherface to shut up and stop and be quiet. And that's all she does in the entire movie. Well, other than listening to rants about the Illuminati, but
I think
that's about it.
I think Stretch did a good job. Just her character, the whole movie was strong. She was trying to always fight to get out. And then at the very end, she just fucking takes out one of the bad guys.
I mean, let's put it this way. There's really no other final girls worth mentioning at this point.
And we're not going to mention the final girl from 2022 because, A, I don't even know if that was a girl. I mean, I hate to be that way, but that was very transgender. Secondly, the stupid bitch, like, oh, I just witnessed a school shooting. I don't want to pick up a gun. Oh, guns kill Leatherface? Well, give me a gun. Like, and then
is that how that works?
Because she shot a gun.
Yeah. Is that how guns work? They work as protection? Yeah, they sure in the fuck do. It's amazing how that operates.
Fuck that final girl. So like she's right out. So
yeah, that was that's so hard when they play that trope. Then all of a sudden she realizes guns have a position to use. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Actually, if I was comparing her, I mean, I think she'd be better than the remake personally, just because I feel like she does more throughout the movie to kind of try to, like Noah was saying, to kind of get like justice against these people than what, like, I mean, literally Erin's just running around most of the movie just like Sally was, except she does have a little bit more, she has some kills at the end of the movie. So.
You know what, though? If you view the 2022 one from the lens as though all these pieces of shit are showing up and they're telling everybody how bad they are out the gate, I kind of see how Leatherface is justified in massacring all these fucks.
Well, see, some people try to make the argument for that movie, saying that you should actually enjoy the movie because that's what the whole point of the movie is that he's killing these Gen Z idiots, and, that are like up their ass, and they're not wrong in that, but like you have to put up with those Gen Z idiots until he kills them. So,
and it's unbearable as fuck.
It's unbearable, yes, highly. All right, killer rating now. Technically, Leatherface are killer, but Chop Top, I mean. I know he at least, doesn't technically kill LG, but he
brings
gets
a
him
lot
most of the way there.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table. He does. His character is awesome. If you remove his character from that movie, if you remove his character from that movie, it creates a giant void. The movie doesn't really have 100%. The same effect.
I'm not even arguing that. I love Chop Top. I'm just saying, as far as like a killer goes, is it still Leatherface because he's, who he is? I mean,
because technically
Urena's arguing for Grandpa. Grandpa almost gets killed in this movie, so kudos to Grandpa.
Technically, LG didn't kill anybody. He hammered a dude and cut his face, and his face got cut off. He didn't technically die so much in the hammering, just like the after effect of it. So he's not really a killer, but goddamn, his character's strong in the movie. Why are you looking at me like that? You don't know a good movie. I swear to God.
I know
you hate this movie.
I know what I don't like, and I married you, so
wow.
That means I like you.
This movie starts out so fucking strong. With the dude getting his head cut off and the passenger doesn't even know.
It's set it up for a good movie,
it just kept that pace the whole movie.
I wouldn't say it kept the pace.
He fed a bunch of morons out of chili cook-off, fucking human chili.
I know. I wonder how they died. True. I wonder who was involved with those deaths.
You know how good of a move that is? That's an awesome. And he didn't even have to pay for the meat.
I know. I wonder how.
And he made a ton of money.
Yes, he did. I pointed that out.
Drayton doesn't kill anybody, so he's obviously not going to get a killer rating. He just does the cooking for the family.
And he says it too in the film. He's like, I'm not much into the killing, straight up.
What he
Yeah,
gets,
he leaves that to Chop Top and Leatherface.
he gets Top Chef is what he gets.
Top Chef.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He gets Iron Chef is what he gets.
Oh my God.
But I guess for straight up kills, I guess it would be Leatherface because he technically gets the kills in the movie,
Yeah.
and Chop Top, you know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Chop Top's that.
He's
that
a torturer.
awesome. He's that awesome sidekick that could almost be the main character, is what he is.
Almost.
Like when you watch a movie and you have a main character, but the side character's so fucking good
So close.
that if you
Always the
removed
bridesmaid,
him, it
but
would
never the
tank
bride.
movie.
Best kill. I've already said it. It's to me, it's 3D just watching that mayor get chewed up in that machine. But if I'm picking from part 2, I do love the fact of Drayton Sawyer like getting blown up because he's just got his asshole sawed up. He's sitting there rambling a bunch of nonsense shit. Lefty's fighting above him in a duel with Leatherface, and then because he knocks Leatherface's chainsaw down, it saws again in the Drayton, and Drayton's like, all right, and then drops the pen and blows them all up. So I fucking love Drayton in this movie.
Those two,
he just keeps going on about his sawed asshole like the whole entire time.
between him and Chop Top, like both those characters really push this movie over the finish line easily. I don't get how you don't like it.
I do not like Chop Top specifically, and I personally thought
Why?
that
Because he's too creepy?
it's not that he's too creepy, because you need creepy in the film. He was very annoying. His voice kind of sounded like.
But that was his character. Him and Drayton's characters were to be those fucking like chatty Cathy fucks.
I think that Nubbins was a more effective creepy. He also had a weird voice, but it wasn't too annoying. It was just enough to kind of like.
I
make
would
me
say
irk
almost
out.
Nubbins was better in the second one.
Oh my God. I wish that Chop Top had the same acting chops as Nubbins in the second one. I did not like Chop Top at all. I guess if, like I said, for the 80s, he was an effective 80s character of sorts. And I feel like there was scenes that were not scripted at all. And it showed in a bad way, where it was like they were just bantering. Him and Drayton were bantering after each other, and it was like they ran out of things to say, so it kind of got redundant a little bit.
To me, that felt realistic. Like if you were two buddies sitting around talking shit, and then you crank up the psychotic level to 11, I imagine it'd be something along those lines.
I don't know if this will blow your mind, Urena, but the actor Jim that played Drayton in both movies said that actually in the first movie they improvised a lot of their lines in that too, because Hooper just he wanted it to be more natural.
No, that makes sense, and in there. It did start with the girl screaming. It kind of got annoying. It was, again, also a teeny tiny bit redundant. Not as much in the second film. I guess it started to feel like same shit, different day in those scenes to me. So again, I had no issue with Drayton. I like Drayton's character. Clearly Leatherface had a little bit more going on in terms of how he was, show emotion, I guess. You could see a little bit more of that coming through.
Licking them lips.
Yeah.
God damn.
And it was funny. It was funnier. I just could not get into Chop Top's character. He was useless to me.
I'm gonna throw something out there. Have you watched House of a Thousand Corpses?
Which there's only one, or there's two. Isn't there?
No, there's House of a Thousand Corpses, and there's Devil's Rejects, and then there's Three from Hell. They're all.
No, I haven't. I haven't watched. I don't think I've watched any Rob Zombie films.
You haven't watched the house?
so
Yeah, you've watched the House of a Thousand
I
Corpses.
don't think I have, babe.
When
Maybe
you
your
watch House of
other
a Thousand
girlfriend.
Corpses, when you watch House of a Thousand Corpses, Bill Moseley's character in that is almost a direct ripoff of Chop Top. Like he's just playing a more Charles Manson version of Chop Top.
Cut out copy of that guy.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're going to make me watch
he
that.
The same voice.
House of a Thousand Corpses. What season is that going to go in?
It can almost go in this one.
Technically, it could go on this one, but it could also go on Human Horror. So
okay. So
he's such a fucking psychopath in that movie too. Holy shit!
I know we're gonna review Rob Zombie films. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but I'm just saying, if you don't like Chop Top, you're not going to like his character in House of a Thousand Corpses.
There's other characters I've seen in horror films that resemble Chop Top, and I didn't like them either. So we're gonna come across that. I can't think off the top of my head. I said, like I'm saying, we're gonna come across that. I'm gonna remember it, and we'll probably discuss it.
That character in a House of a Thousand Corpses, those fucking cheerleaders, is like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What is going on in our house downstairs?
You got some demons brewing.
The fucking devil dogs right now.
Best scream, it has to be Stretch. I mean, she does nothing but scream for most of the movie. So
yeah, man, dude, the longest screams, or just the longest length of screaming, not in one single scream, but just constant screaming. It's like, okay, but then again, how would I be in that situation? You know, it could be very realistic.
Worst scream, I didn't really have one. I just picked the final girl from Texas Chainsaw 3, Michelle. Like, hers is okay. It's just it's not the best. It's just in the middle somewhere. And I don't know. Renee Zellweger's actually got a decent scream in hers, and she does it a bunch, but she just runs around in circles and does stupid shit. And hers.
I'm gonna say best scream is Leatherface in the New Generation.
Shut up.
Well, that's probably not wrong, to be perfectly honest with you, as sad as that is. Best side character. That's hard because I feel like the best characters in this movie are all kind of main characters.
Yeah.
Part two.
They're all critical parts of it.
Grandpa.
If I had to pick, well, if Grandpa's a main character, then, but I mean, I will allow you that. I mean, if I'm picking from like the people who's actually in the movie, it would be, it'd probably be Lefty personally, but he's technically a protagonist. So if I had to pick a true side character, it'd be that goofy old man that's getting off while he's watching Lefty work that log.
Yeah.
So.
I would say LG was pretty good. A little side character. And then he had a
LG
horrible fucking ending.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I was thinking LG, but I was like, can he be considered a side? He kind of was. I mean.
Yeah, he was a side character.
He was getting
coffee.
He was
a side piece for her. So.
Then he went to go get coffee. That automatically puts him in the criteria of side character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, LG's a pretty good one. He's not a bad pick.
Yeah, and he fucking practically came back from the dead to fucking save her. That is, man.
Give me my face back.
That's a friend zone right there. That's a dude that knows his role. I mean,
she should have just sat on his face, like for one last, you know.
His face was nice.
You mean
wet.
the one that was take the one that was on her face off and just sit on it? Is that what you're saying?
That too. That would have been horrible if he did. He's like, sit on my face, and she's like, okay, just plops his face right down there.
Geez,
like,
actually, that movie would have perfectly worked in that movie. They
it would have.
That.
Yeah.
Do me one last thing. Sit on my face. Okay.
And then he's watching her do that, but that's not what he wanted.
Yeah, in that moment he probably did, because I imagine if she sat on his face and the condition it was in, oof.
A little prickly.
No, just like giant open wounds.
Yeah, they didn't go full bear back then, really. So that would have definitely pricked him in the face.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to give it to Darla from Texas Chainsaw Next Generation, because she shows her tits and they're not bad. So go Darla.
And that takes us to our next criteria:
Hollywood
best
titties.
boobs.
Yeah, those are Hollywood titties.
Yeah, she gets the best boobs because she's the only one that actually shows her boobs in any of these fucking movies. It would have been clearly Double D to Dario if we would have been allowed that luxury, but no, we couldn't have that.
She was dissed and dismissed. You know, they're probably like, "Nah, you're ugly. We don't want to see your titties. We only want to see titties of pretty girls."
We seen your titties. We're not impressed.
I can't even give an honorary worst character to any of the movies or any characters in part two. I know it would be Chop Top for you, Urano, just because of what you said, but I can't, I even like Rick the Prick because that stupid son of a bitch with those glasses.
Oh my God.
Forget of the movie.
No, that main girl in the 2022 one, the one that was scared.
Yes.
That was
That's
so
the final girl from the
that was so
there you go, honorary worst character.
Yeah, bad, dude.
Speaking of that, Sally from the 2022 movie could almost get honorary worst character because that fucking sucked.
I'm such a badass. No, you're not that badass. Sit down, bitch.
She sits there for 5 minutes in that movie. Do you remember me, Leatherface? Do you remember what you did to me and Franklin? Talk to me. And then he just sits there and he just reaches under the couch and pulls out the chainsaw and then fucking saws her.
Like, finally, I get to
shut her up.
Fulfill my fantasy. I can't.
How annoying is the Doom Prophet? Well, I consider Lefty the Doom Prophet in part 2 because he's technically the one that tells, Stretch, that she should be concerned about these guys because everybody else. Because of course, the movie, like he's the one that's like nobody else believes in these fuckers. They're out there.
Yeah.
He even
wake up, sheeple.
Well, not that, but he even tells her like, "Hey, the cops are trying to ignore this. They're acting like they're all isolated incidents." And he, like this in the opening scene after that first murder, he's telling the cops that show up, they're like, "Get the fuck out of here." He's like, "No." He said, "You guys are ignoring it." And then one guy's, "I'm going to kick you the fuck out." He's like, "Prove it."
Yeah.
I ain't
I'm
going
to
to
give him an awesome rating as a Doom Prophet because he kicks ass.
Yeah, he did. He took it to him.
Even though he did kind of almost Doom Stretch, but the Doom Prophets kind of do that.
Well, he kind of gamed the system. He's like, "This thing's going to collapse. Watch this." And just chainsaw their entire compound down. You're rigging the game, sir. It doesn't work like that.
Dumbest decision, I guess Stretch pursuing the phone call in the first place. She could have just like let it be. I mean, but that's kind of good on her that she was actually willing to follow up on it.
Well, that was kind of her character's MO though. She wanted to get into doing things.
Yeah,
like that.
she wanted to be like much like what we discussed last episode when we talked about the babysitter, Killer Queen. She wanted to be a news girl.
I would say almost
true.
The worst decision is that goddamn people letting that hitchhiker into that goddamn house. That was what the fuck.
And they tried to like make it right by saying, "Oh well, I should sue you guys." Oh no, don't sue us.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever you want.
Or another dumbest decision from 3D. It's well, I know that you all done killed the mayor and done some bad shit, and he's a cannibal, but I'm just going to let you go.
I'm gonna let you go.
You're reformed. I trust
you're reformed, and you done it, cuz. So let's go.
Oh, Tits McGee over there is gonna learn you right.
I think honestly, to give the sheriff his due, he gave her a hot pass. So
he did.
I can't blame him for that.
He gave her a hot pass.
I can't blame him for that.
You know
she was
what?
Pretty good whenever she was in her goth mode at the beginning of the movie. Okay, she did. So
you know what I'm wondering is what kind of relationships is she going to be allowed to have in the future? What happens if she brings a guy home?
That's what I was thinking too. Is she allowed to
how
do
does
that?
work out? Like, is he going to lose his shit?
There was a couple things in that movie that I did like in regards to her, though, that they kind of set up the fact that she was making that artwork out of the bones, like meaning she kind of had it in her, like the Sawyer bullshit craziness, They kind of hinted at that early on. And then like when she killed the one guy that was like, that pressed the button that was like pulling, Leatherface into that, grinder. When she killed him, she had this look, the Dario added this kind of like crazy look to her face or whatever, meaning that she, it kind of hinting that she was going to be as batshit crazy as the rest of them. So I did like that touch from it a little bit.
I'm sure you did.
I don't know if that was actually her decision. I guarantee you the director was too stupid to actually ask her to do anything like that. So. Anything else from these movies? Go ahead and tell us how bad you hated part 2 since we're at it.
Did we even discuss? I don't feel like we discussed whether I even liked part 1.
Well, I assumed you did because you had some glowing things to say about it. But what did you think about part 1?
Oh no, I liked it. I mean, I thought the kills were cool.
What?
For sure. I did like part 2. Just so we're being fair, I do like part 2 a lot. I just don't like Chop Top. That's the only thing I didn't like about the film.
He's not supposed to be a likable character.
I know it doesn't have to. What's his name?
She can't enjoy the humor from him. That's the problem, and that's what kills me because I'm like, he's one of the funniest things in the fucking movie.
Not that I did. It's not that I didn't try. I just didn't like it because I was fresh.
All I could think about when he was talking about the dent in his fucking metal thing on his head was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
When he's explaining, I can't go down the hill because this is plastic. If it gets dented, it ain't gonna look right.
You know, but
Yeah, it wasn't syncing with me. So again, loved the kills in the film, you know, and where it was going. Obviously wasn't no great storyline. Did enjoy some laughs over it and everything. I mean, but other than that, like I said, the only thing I can say I didn't like was Chop Top.
If this gets dented, my hair ain't gonna look right. How did you not laugh? That's like the first when he said that and he came out. I laughed so hard because the first thing I thought was
up.
Christmas. Yeah, it's a metal plate in his head that's fucking shitty and scabbing over and infected.
He wasn't
and he's
convincing
scratching
me.
it with a coat hanger.
He just wasn't. I don't know. He was not resonating with me. He was not convincing me that he was that serious about it or whatnot, and he wasn't.
He wasn't
scary
that
enough.
serious about his teeth either. He had some serious hygiene issues.
I'm sure. Well, he's eating the skin off of his head. So, again,
It's only the skin that's flaking off.
You know, again, if that's the only thing I didn't like about that film,
it's a big part of the film.
Good. I know, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
dog will hunt.
So, that being said, considering that he was a huge part of the film and I didn't like him that much, but I still said I liked the film, that's a big deal, okay? Progress, people. I am making progress.
You are making progress. I'm happy that at least you, because as bad as you were dogging, I was like, Chop Top's like one of the main things in this movie. She's going to fucking dog this thing.
The kills were brutal, and they were just, some of them were stupid looking, but I still liked it. I was like, that's cool. like a kid getting to watch it. And I really was like a kid watching this film for the first time, because it's the first time I've seen it. It's the first time I've been allowed to see this movie.
What do you mean allowed to?
Because I don't have parents telling me you can't watch that. Because I never had the.
If you had told me anytime in the past, let's watch this, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's watch this.
There's nothing that you don't allow me to do. It's not like that's a thing. But it's like I never watched this, so I just don't have the desire anymore.
The only thing I don't allow you to do is stand up when you pee. You need to sit down in this house.
That you know of. So yeah, there we go. Those are my thoughts.
Well, I mean, I love part one for what it is, and, and part two for what it is, and they're two totally different movies for two totally different. Like when I'm looking to watch a movie, they're usually not one and the same. Although there's, like I've said, there's enough of that dark humor that I can kind of get some of what I want out of part two from part one, just especially whenever Nubbins and Drayton start interacting with one another later in the movie. But
Nubbins,
But part two definitely, I'd only to be honest with you, caught up with that one in total. I mean, I'd only saw bits and pieces prior to that, in the last few years. And whenever I watched it, then I realized I was like, I really dig this movie for what the goofy shit that's going on in it. So
I think I like the subtle humor a little more. I think it was just too in my face, and I was like, okay, I'm over it. I'm also horrible because I'm like, okay, where's the next kill? Where's the next kill? So there's that too.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell this in the trivia, but that scene where Lefty kicks the wall and then all that shit falls out.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Those were actual pig, pig guts, offal or whatever from a local slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
It had been in that wall for a couple of days at a high temperature, so it stunk like shit. So when you see Lefty crinkle his nose up, that was Dennis Hopper actually doing that because that stuff stank to high heavens when it came out of the wall.
I fucking love it. That was I can't believe I forgot about that. That was an awesome scene.
They said the guy who plays Drayton said that it was to Hopper's benefit as an actor that he was able to hold it together and actually say the lines that he was supposed to say in that scene, because he didn't expect it to be quite that nasty when it came out of that wall the way it did.
Yeah, again, like a kid, I was just like, ugh, that's cool.
Anything you want to add before we get out of here, Noah?
I'm a huge fan of both movies. The only gripe I had was number one was a part when they were running through the brush and he's this I don't know what the fuck was going on that you couldn't just mangle through brush.
It was those heels. Losing your balance.
I know, but
have you ever operated a chainsaw on heels?
I liked how the movie was such a breakneck pace.
Yeah.
And it was good. The path, the story, everything was happening was like, okay, cool. This is a good, tangible storyline. It's plausible. I get behind it, except for the goddamn fucking brush. And the girl's running through it like it's nothing. And he has a chainsaw. And he's a big dude. He should be either linebackering through that shit, like or a nose guard just breaking the line, or that chainsaw should have been like a hot knife through butter. And like to see him get tangled up, it was just like, fuck, dude. Don't ruin the fucking movie doing shit like that.
Well, okay, to be fair, though, but did you also notice, am I the only one who noticed that sometimes it seemed like she was running in slow motion? And not...
I kind of felt that way.
It was like, and it probably because she couldn't run, because this was the part where she actually had hurt her foot, and it's so like he had to kind of slow himself down, so he wasn't right there. So that had to be awkward to film.
But that not really, because he was outpacing her even in his scenario in real life.
I'm aware of that, but because she was moving so slow with it not actually being slow motion, you could tell that he had to slow, because he had to be just right there, in the film, to where he wasn't quite getting her, but he was catching up.
The problem is they spent too much time with her getting stuck in this brush when she was bearing.
It wasn't that. This was towards the.
I know, but I'm talking about the parts where she got like stuck in the brush.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, dude, like, what are we doing at this part?
Yeah, they were hard to watch when she was being slow.
The only other thing that I could probably throw in there, and this probably still won't help your headcanon for that scene, but Leatherface being the big goofy kid that he is, he probably, like, pain probably scares him, even though he dishes it out quite easily to other people. And him running in the brush and getting, like, hurt by it, it might cause him to slow down a little bit more than he would. Like, he wouldn't just barrel through it because he's actually getting hurt, and he tries to avoid pain.
That could be because he's like a kid.
Yeah, but they never really established that scenario. If they would have established a scenario with like something like that, I'll give it tangible. But
well, at the end of the movie, though, he freaks out quite a bit whenever he actually saws himself. So they kind of lay into that. Well,
that's a little different story. I mean, you drop a chainsaw on your leg. That's kind of.
I know. I'm just saying that, he still freaks out. I mean, it's not like he's this just, unbearable, like he's invulnerable, like guy who's just running around, taking hits left and right. It's not like they portrayed him in like 3D where he's actually sawing the fucking mask to his own face or whatever happened in that movie. I think it was.
He's a beast in the movie at every other scene, breaking through the door, chainsawing the shit out of the door, going through it, this hammering that one dude in the face at the like. There's all these points where it shows him this fucking goddamn beast of a person, and then all of a sudden a couple fucking pieces of brush with the big ass fucking chainsaw is a little too much. It was just it kind of the disconnect that, but other than that, the movie itself, like, I give it a super high review. It's just that part. It's like, come on, guys, like, you had so much you could have made happen. All you have to do is just show more scenes where she's hiding. It's pitch black out. You can't see shit. It would have been really easy to make her hide while he was trying to find her if you wanted to give some breathing room in the chase.
That's what I was thinking too, but that didn't happen. So
I know. Yeah. I'm just looking at it objectively. Other than that, like I said, the movie's awesome.
Yeah, really nice. Another smooth transitioning La Arena into slashers. It's going really well, I would say.
And I don't know how you're going to hate the next one, because if you do, your kid's going to disown you. So.
Oh my God, my kid will literally take a machete to me.
Oh, we're doing Friday the 13th?
Yes, because there is a Friday the 13th in January. So we're doing, I think there's two in 2023. Is that correct? I don't remember.
That's what you told me. I think one's like later in the year though. So.
Yeah. So we're doing we're covering the first. Reverend, how are we doing Friday the 13th?
I don't know how many movies. I'm going to have to sit down, but it's at least up through 5, if not 6. So, I mean, like 1 through 6. Because there's a lot in that series. I mean, unfortunately, there's at least.
Is 6 Jason Takes Manhattan?
Jason Takes Manhattan is 8.
I'm watching up to 8, then. I'm going to binge watch him with Benny.
October, actually. There's a Friday the 13th in October. So January and October, we're covering, as much as we can. I'm make no promises as to how many of these films I'm watching. So,
man,
look at
Here's the thing. If you're going to watch them, you need to at least watch 4 because that's, I mean, by most people's reckoning, one of the better ones. You still need, I mean, it'd be great if you could watch when he actually gets the hockey mask, though, in part 3.
oh, yeah, I'm going to watch. I think, I don't know. I'll have to consult with the expert, Benicio. I'm just kidding. Did we ask what is his favorite one?
the one with Corey Feldman.
Which one is that one?
I want to say it's 4 or 3. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember.
What's his favorite hero in it? It's the one he's always playing in the video game. There's a main hero that he's always...
Oh, that's from, I think, 5. I forgot. I know what you're talking about. It's the one where the girl's a psychic. I think that's 5, isn't that?
7's one with a psychic.
Yeah, that's the one. So the dude with that jean jacket.
Yes.
Yeah, anytime he plays the Friday the 13th or Friday the 13th game, that's I'm that guy.
Tommy Jarvis?
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Tommy's from part 4 and 6 technically. He
puts the chain
between.
Yeah, he puts a chain on Jason, doesn't he, and pulls him back in the lake.
Yeah, he was in...
I want to say he comes back like a ghost or something like that in one of them, and he pulls him back down into the water.
First appearance is Friday the 13th, the final chapter in 1984. And I don't know about anyone else listening to this podcast, but this is a spoiler alert. That was not the final chapter.
There's actually 12 movies if you include Freddy versus Jason.
I do want to watch Freddy versus Jason, but that's going to have to be October.
Yeah, it would be anyways. But I mean, if we're doing like 6 and 6, then that means that, if there's 12 total, including Freddy vs. Jason, that means we're going to do 1 through 6, which is fine because that's technically includes my 2 favorite movies of the entire series, anyways, which is 4 and 6.
Okay, so here
I love part 7 for what it is, but 6 is my favorite.
Okay, so we have that. It's technically 1, 2. We have 2 weeks. We're gonna have to do the full 2 weeks.
You better get to watching.
I know. For me to watch 6 films.
I was thinking that I would have to get started in on watching these pretty soon. So
yeah, I have to record somewhere around the 7th or the 8th, which is in January, in order for me to get it out. On the 9th. Which would be the Monday, and then 13th would, Friday the 13th.
We gotta watch in the weekend.
The
I want to get hella high when I watch these.
Oh God, this is not that kind of podcast. You have your own podcast for that.
It makes it scarier to me.
Okay.
We're going to have some good discussions on this because there are some excellent side characters in Friday the 13th.
Ton of storylines.
So. And plenty of final girls to compare because there's every movie's got a different one.
And a litany of titties.
Yeah, that series definitely went that route.
You can't go camping and not see titties. That's just the rule of thumb. And just like in Freddy, you can't go to sleep in your bed and not have titties. That's what happens. You have beds and camping. That's like coincides with titties. It does. Tell me it doesn't. You go camping, you're not going to see titties?
I don't see titties when I go camping.
I do.
Who the fuck are you seeing? No,
really?
All right. Well.
So that's what we got planned next. Any plugs for anything else before we get out of here?
No, because he doesn't have his own podcast anymore.
We're going to do one coming up on the new year. We're going to revamp the channel.
Oh, okay, cool. So,
cool. Are you going to do that on Rumble, or are you going to bring it back to YouTube?
We're going to be on Rumble and YouTube. It'll be Blue Collar BS 2.0.
Oh, where'd you guys come up with that?
I really thought long and hard about what the name needs to be. And that's when I came up with 2.0.
I'm glad there's a lot of meaning behind that too. I mean, a lot of symbology there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And with that, peace be with you.
And with your spirit.